Hey guys, so this video is about a topic that's occasionally bounced around in my mind a time or two over a good stretch of time. I think I've more or less come to a self-realization that if a Toontown sequel were officially set to go forward at a certain time in the future and get developed and released, I'm not sure how thrilled I'd truly be about it. And I just want to kind of share my thoughts on it just to kind of maybe get a discussion going and kind of get your opinions on this kind of thing too. So I think really the first thing is Disney's overindulgence on attempting to be a big player in the mobile market. It basically means that most likely as it stands, a Toontown sequel or revival may very well just be a mobile game, or at least something that's available on mobile, and just in that fact might make a lot of that thrill and excitement kind of go away for me personally. Taking Toontown as it is and transforming it into a mobile game that most phones can run isn't really an easy task in my opinion. Honestly, I'd expect a lot of the graphics and art style and feel of the game to become more like maybe like a Nintendo DS style game with smaller characters and map designs and the things of that sort. And I'm not saying like it's good or comparing it to anything, but just kind of similar to the design and like feel of like a Club Penguin Island instead of that true desktop third-person MMO design and feel of the game. Just that is something that would probably take away from it a bit for me personally. Not only that, but how much of the game's core functionality would actually end up changing. Would there be less gags? I can't imagine it would be easy designing a user interface for mobile that lets you easily choose one of the 49 gag options easily without having some sort of workaround redesign like a category selector or something. And that's if they even choose to incorporate the same gags in turn-based system. There wouldn't be any guarantees that the original battling system would actually even stay true to the original. And lastly, if it ended up on the mobile market, it'd more than likely have to be a pay-to-win system or incorporate a lot of pay-to-use or pay-to-play content in the game as a means of avoiding the failing subscription payment model that they actually want to move away from. And I think we can all collectively agree that it would be genuinely awful to see Toontown in a pay-to-win or pay-to-play kind of mobile game. Now, I reached out to Jesse Shell about this topic and shared my own thoughts, and he was very open in replying and sharing his own thoughts on the subject, so I figured I would talk about that too. He basically said that it's really hard to be sure what the game would truly end up becoming. He mentioned that the medium a game is in is always what's going to shape it, meaning a mobile game would definitely not end up being very similar to the original desktop game, as it's just simply not very compatible in playability. He also included that it's likely true that the most successful path forward for a Toontown revival would indeed involve microtransactions of sorts, even if it were just for vanity items, being like clothing and decorations. But he did add one little interesting note. He mentioned that what had been on his mind lately was the Nintendo Switch. He thinks that if it became very successful, which I think the Nintendo Switch is on the path to become, it would include a lot of the right ingredients to be a good platform for a Toontown revival. He added if anyone can show success with a MMO-esque game on the Switch, then it could really pave the way for a Toontown revival on the Switch. Just maybe there is a future out there. Honestly, I'd be pretty happy to see Toontown on the Switch, and I agree with Jesse Shell on the ingredients comment. The functionality of the Switch allowing for sit-down play, as well as the ability to switch into traveling mode and play on the move, could perhaps create a wonderful platform for a game that looks great, plays great, and is relatively faithful to the original. I feel like it's all kind of just a big pipe dream to me in my own opinion, but it's kind of a fun thought to think about. I only fear like a true sellout mobile revival, but if we could one day have Toontown on the Nintendo Switch, now I think that could be something very special and something that I would enjoy playing for a long time. But what's the chances of that happening? I'm not sure, and there would have to be a lot of precursors leading up to that to even truly happen, in the form of other MMO-esque games being successful for that platform to be set for Toontown to be on the Nintendo Switch. So, will it happen? Probably not in my opinion, but there's always a chance, and if it does someday, that'll be amazing to witness and play. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time in my next video.